33 Founders. Today, I'm delighted to be sitting down with Noah Santos and Will Nathan, the founders of HomePolish, an interior design company based in New York City that's redefining the way we design our homes. Thanks so much for joining us, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
You guys have taken something that's so inaccessible to people and made it both accessible and affordable. So Noah, let's say I just moved into my new New York City apartment. I'm really busy starting my company, and I have no idea how to do anything with interior design. A friend tells me to check out HomePolish, so I log onto your site. What do you want me to do once I get there?
So the process starts on our homepage, where you basically give us information about your location and fill out a bunch of details about your project. Those details might include a little bit about your style, your budget, existing furniture that you're working with, sort of the context of your home. Maybe it's a completely empty space. So at that point, we take that sort of style profile, project profile, and match you with one of our HomePolish designers. And we recruit the top young designers from the best firms around the country. After we've matched you with the designer reaches out to you, and you guys schedule a time, basically, that works for the both of you. And then the design process really begins with initial consultation. And that's an hour in your home with the designer. And that's really what's exciting about HomePolish is that we are about getting designers in your home. We're not about the e-decorating stuff. It's really about the personal interaction between client and designer. Yeah, and what's really important and exciting about getting a lot of people have an idea of what they might want the space to be. Maybe they've seen friends' homes or they have an idea of like a basic layout. But having a designer who thinks of the design problems that people have a little differently and sort of have a fresh take on the space, a lot of times they come and they present ideas that you actually wouldn't have thought of yourself. And that's really where I think we provide a lot of our value, is that getting a designer in the home and letting them see it firsthand. They can come up with things that on the spot that really kind of take the project to the next level, basically. After that point, working with a designer at HomePolish is just about buying design time. So we don't charge design markups or commissions on any of the furniture. We're very transparent in all of that. It's just buying time with your designer. So maybe the designer's like, well, I think to complete what we discussed, maybe it'll take 10 or 20 hours. And we sell hours in increments, so it's very easy to start small and build on the project as it goes along. So we have clients who have been with us for 6 months who just buy design time every month. And so it really is about creating this relationship that isn't about getting a ton of bills or all of this like secret design fees and markups. It's about creating a design partnership that our designers are incentivized to make your money work for you in the best way possible.
So they're not pushing furniture, they're not pushing brands, they're there saying, how can I make the most of your money because you're paying for my talent by the hour, essentially.
Great, so I can assume then that anybody who I work with during my time at HomePolish is not only going to be my design partner for my current project, but for projects down the road also.
Sure, definitely. I mean, part of the reason why we get information up front is so that we can really match you with the right person. And that's something that we have someone specifically recruiting and managing designers, and her job is to get to know them so that when a client comes in, just by reading their style profile or hearing them on the phone, she knows enough that our matching process really has worked out quite well.
That's great. It makes such a difference too.
Because the sort of transactional part of things are handled by us, and because it's only one bill for time, it really allows the client, it frees up the financial part of the process and allows there to be much more of a friendship, which I think is really important for design because it's a very intimate process.
What is one of the most important goals that you guys had this time last year that you feel you've really gotten right?
We wanted to make enough money to buy ourselves Chinese food once a week. That was our goal last year this time.
I mean, we started the company last July, so really, Will and I hadn't actually started HomePolish yet. So our goal was to sort of, we wanted to buy one meal a week together that the company would be able to pay for.
We had to struggle a little bit. We had to have some Chinese food in there.
Now we're able to buy like 2 meals a week, so we're really on a good track.
Oh, that's awesome. You guys are set then.
Yeah, we're good. I think a lot of that, when we first started the company, I was working at BuzzFeed doing front-end web development, and I had a background in finance, and so Noah was actually working at a company called 33founders, which was she had started. I'll let you tell more about it.
Yeah, I mean, so I had my old company before this that we sort of rolled into HomePolish. We tweaked the business model and sort of gave it a grander vision. But I think it was interesting because, you know, Will had time to develop his skills, obviously, and I had sort of time by myself to really be one of the designers that we hire now. I mean, I think that allows me to, I think it just allows us to have a very close, we like to have a close-knit community of designers, or at least we try to. And I think the fact that I sort of had a year to test this out on my own, I think definitely helps. I can kind of hopefully keep a relatively close touch point and relate to our designers. I mean, it's always a challenge as you grow to keep that relationship, and something that is valuable both to me on the designer side and on the client side. I think in terms of a year, yeah, we had you know, Will and I both knew that we knew that there was a market for it. We knew that there was a need for it, and it was just what is the what is the minimal product? What is the minimally viable product we can really start with, and then just iterate on that. And so I think probably our first goal was just something very small, and we just kept setting bigger and bigger goals and running as fast as possible.
Very pragmatic about it. That's something Noah and I both care a lot about, is like focusing in on exactly what needs to get done and then measuring it.
Absolutely. Let's look ahead. What's your biggest dream for HomePolish?
Yeah, sure.
So right now we've narrowed down our favorite candidates in Washington, D.C. And so we're going to bring those guys on board soon, and we're going to be in D.C. is going to be our next market. And then we're going to continue to pick out various markets around the country where we think there's a huge demand, and just people not being able to experience the design that we're able to bring with our expertise and our backgrounds.
I think in terms of greater vision, I think that we are at a point in, I guess, interior design history. I don't know what that means, but I think, you know, we're seeing a lot of change in the industry, and I think a really important change is that people have access to a lot more information than they used to have. And you used to pay an interior designer for access to that information. Mm-hmm. You know, you had to pay an interior designer a markup because they could get a sofa that you could not get. But with the advent of things like First Dibs, One Kings Lane, sort of democratizing product design, making it available to the masses, I think that what we're trying to do is really show the potential that this shift in the industry has, and sort of capture this new market and show people the potential of what a great space has on the rest of it. I think that the grand vision is to really contribute to shifting the industry. Disruption is like the worst term ever. Disruptive is like what every startup and their mother uses, and so I hate that term. But I think contributing at least to this shift in hoping that people will just in general live better. And I think it's particularly valuable in environments like New York City and I think metropolitan areas, because people spend so much of their life kind of bombarded outside, inside their homes. They're constantly trying to find that peace, whatever that personal peace means to you. I think that's particularly powerful in areas that we want to target. So it really is the areas that we want to make the most difference in.
Yeah, and I think to touch on that point, we because of all this new information, because everyone has Pinterest boards and everyone can see such great interior design, we want to let people know that you can actually make that real, that you can put that in your home. You can make your home look like the magazine. And the way to do that isn't necessarily to buy expensive products, it's to find someone who has the vernacular and the talent and the time and the right structure to really help you achieve that look. Because a lot of people that we meet, they know what they want, they know what they think looks good. And we basically say, okay, this is great. Like, let's partner you up with someone who actually can execute on this and make that happen for you.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are doing a pretty amazing job of it.
Thanks.